Okay, Candace, I'm going to start by getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. I get the feeling that Carolina and Duke fans, they don't want to face off in the Final Four. Do you get that sense, and why is that? We all want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Who wants a third round? Because the bragging rights just look different. We've had the regular season. Nobody ever wants to meet post unless it's going to be ACC tournament. But when it comes to the big dance, we just want the one team to focus on themselves. And so I'm not feeling the sense that anybody wants to see a Final Four matchup unless you're super crazy.
I'm crazy, but I don't have a dog in the race. Let's talk about Carolina. They got past one Final Four team from last year, taking down the defending champ Baylor in overtime. What a game. Can they do it again against UCLA? How do you see this matchup?
Listen, it's going to be very exciting for this team that nobody essentially believed they would get this far. A lot of people, including myself, just figured it was nice while you were playing in Fort Worth. You weren't going to beat Baylor, but now you've made a lot of people believers, including myself. And I think when it comes to UCLA, they're just going to have to play their game. They're not going to have the opportunity to. UCLA will capitalize on these turnovers, so they can't just be, flimsy with the ball. They have to have the opportunity to just play their game with those guards. Caleb Love, RJ Davis are going to be called upon. We'll definitely have Brady for the entire game, hopefully. So that would certainly help things. And then Armando Bacot is going to have to play big in the paint against, guys like Johnny Juzang and others. So I think it's just going to be one of those things where everyone's got to know their role and play it well.
All right, if Coach K wants his role to be coach for more than one more game, Duke's got to get by Texas Tech out west. That is a really solid Red Raiders team.
Yeah, average age is 22 years old, and those guys are super gritty, and they've been here before. They understand who they're playing. They don't care that it's the king of the castle. They would love to be the team that takes Coach K out of his last game potentially in college basketball. And Texas Tech they are those hard-nosed, going to make you earn every point. Defense is just phenomenal. And they're going to go up against a very talented Duke team, but can they get past the fact that they're talented and actually execute during game day?
All right, Candace Cooper from Locked On ACC. We'll see if our two Carolina teams can move on to the Elite Eight. We're going to talk about our two women's teams from the ACC, NC State and North Carolina. They're in the Sweet 16 too. Our full conversation on the WCNC Charlotte YouTube page. All right, Candace, let's pick it up there. UNC, they get the dream matchup of South Carolina. How are they looking here? I mean, this has been an underrated Tar Heels team, I think, but man, this is a good Gamecocks team as usual.
Absolutely. And, I think when you talk about Carolina beating Arizona in the way that they did, essentially a home game for Arizona, you have to have confidence in this Carolina team that they are not afraid of anybody, and that's including South Carolina. They're going to have to play their best game. You're going to have Poole and Aaliyah Boston matchups. You're going to need Deja Kelly to go off. You're going to need Alyssa Utsby to do her thing. I think it's just going to be one of those situations where they have to come out hot, even make South Carolina uncomfortable and stay around. If you stick around in any type of game, as we've seen in the women's tournament, you certainly have a shot, and that's what Carolina's going to have to do.
Listen, Candace, this is the extended cut, but I'm still not sure we have the time we need to dive into why NC State is going to Bridgeport, Connecticut as a 1 seed, but that's where they'll find themselves against Notre Dame. I love this NC State team. They are so, so good. Star players, leadership, coaching. This is a team that really, I think, could put it together and win it all. What do you think of their first matchup and where this tournament brings them now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it just speaks to how good this team is, how well coached they are by Wes Moore. The fact that Alyssa Cunane is not always in matchups. She picks up 2 quick fouls and has to sit on the bench. Then you have Kai Crutchfield and Raina Perez holding down the fort while they figure it out. And so it's going to be more of the same, right? They had a really good matchup against Kansas State. And I think as they roll and they prepare for, that Bridgeport UConn potential match and all of those things that are coming, it's not going to be easy, but it's never been easy for NC State, and I think they like it better that way. Everyone's been having them be the quiet number 1 seed, and yet and still they've come in and made a name for themselves. So very interested to see how it plays out these next few games.
I'm interested to see what happens when I put you on the spot. We've got 4 Carolina teams between the men's and women's. Which of them has the best chance to win it all?
Oh, that's such a great question. I would say NC State has the best chance. The women's team has the best chance to win it all. I think, from bringing back all of your super seniors, this is it. There is no more super. There's no more COVID year. You came back for this reason and to take down some really good quality teams, which you have done this year. If there was ever a time for them to do it, I think this is the one. But hey, crazier things have happened for sure.
Candace Cooper, great job as always. Now with Locked On ACC, she's covering it all the way through the tournament.
Thanks, Nick.